The Music Man, Luke Sosebee. An effective epithet, or a classic example of verbal irony, because it would insinuate that I was a member of that production from last school year, let alone its lead. But I'm not going to use my 7 to 10 minutes of your all's valuable time to get up here and go on this sort of tirade about the farce that is the Western Hills Drama Department, because that's not what this speech is. This is the Why I Am speech, a chance for each of us to get up here in front of our peers and explain what makes us each tick, why we like the things we like, why we detest the things we detest, and what that says about us. So what am I going to do? Hale prophesies this as our best speech, not only to this point, but ever. This is the one that we should look back on in a month, in a year, in a decade, and say to ourselves that this was an accurate representation of who we are or who we were at the time that we gave this speech. So what am I going to do? I'm sure a lot of you are sitting in your desks wondering, what is Luke Sosebee going to do? I'm the vice president of the class, I'm a drum major, I have a reputation of sorts to live up to. I have shoes the size of cargo ships to fill, and there are times that I don't even know if I can fill them. But, you want to know something? Come on, class participation. You want to know something about me? What? There we go.
Yeah.
It's that I'll give it a hell of a try to fill those cargo ships. There's a quote from the song Aaron Burr, Sir, in the critically acclaimed musical Hamilton, in which Aaron Burr says to Alexander Hamilton, talk less, smile more. Don't let them know what you're against or what you're for. And I have to say, whenever it comes to quotes, that there are far few things that I would disagree more with. Because I'm a pretty outspoken person. I'm not an agree to disagree kind of guy. If there's a moral dilemma that I'm faced with, or a social conflict, I'm going to hear the other side of the opposition. I'm going to hear the opposition, and I'm going to formulate my own opinion on that. It might agree, or it might disagree. I feel like I have a firm understanding of what's right and what's wrong, and I'm not afraid to voice that. I'll tell you the time in which I feel I truly started believing in free speech. It was 3 years ago, my freshman year, and I was in English class with a student by the name of Garrett Hoda. His sister Abby still goes here. And I remember it was early on in the week, it was a Monday or Tuesday, and Garrett came in and he was wearing a new leather jacket, or it was early on in the school year, so and he might not have just worn it to school yet. But he came in wearing that leather jacket, Chuck Taylor's, his hair, curly, big, blonde, Jufro. And I looked at him, we were sitting at the same grouping of desks, and I said, I really like your style. He looked at me, I said, thanks. But I felt like that answer wasn't good enough, so I was like, no man, like, I really mean that. You look badass. And he kind of blushed a little bit, looked down, said thank you. He was a really quiet guy. About a week after that, Garrett killed himself. He did. And that was the last thing that I ever said to Garrett. You look badass. Now, there's far worse things that you can have as your famous last words to someone. Far worse things you can say. But there were so many better things that I could have said to Garrett. Better yet, so many better things that I could have asked, rather. How's your day going? How are you? What's on your mind? Garrett's death weighed on me for so long, so much that I even had to go to Miss Chesser before school one day because I was just distraught in tears over someone that I didn't even know that well. Something that I just remembered the last thing that I said to him, and I just wanted it to be better. And I've come to terms with that and learned to accept that. And I know this is the Why I Am speech, and that's why I am who I am, is because I believe in free speech, and I believe in thinking before you speak, and I believe in expressing yourself. But there's never a wrong time to take a moment that I can tell you guys to take time to ask your peers or ask someone how they're doing, what's weighing on them, if anything's wrong. I've lost too many people and almost lost too many people to not reiterate that enough to you. Aside from that, let's loosen the mood a little bit, talk about something that we can all appreciate. Family. Maybe lighten the mood, lighten the tone back in the room a little bit. A lot of us have already given speeches to this point about our families, or maybe some of the people yet to go will talk about their family a little bit. I wanted to touch on my family a little bit. I live with my mom, my dad. Used to live with my sister, but she's moved out now. Lives in Lexington, has her own apartment, works at Brew Burger as a waitress. My parents were very supportive growing up, of both me and my sister. Gave each of us equal opportunity. They didn't pick favorites. They supported us both as much as they could. But in my ripe 17 years of life, I've often pondered one thing. And that one thing was, how could a country boy who was raised in a lower middle class home have so much to fight for, but at the same time have so much to lose? My sister, whenever she was a senior in high school, she wasn't a hard worker. And that's not just as a senior, not like she got to her senior year and then senioritis. No, overall in high school wasn't a hard worker. But when she got to a senior, senioritis hit hard. She didn't have a job. Her grades were mediocre at best, passing her classes. And it was getting time for her to pick a school for her secondary education. As I stated previously, my parents were very supportive. They told her that she could go anywhere that she wanted to go, and that they would help her through that. They would help her get that bachelor's degree. Now, graduate school, she's going to be on her own, they said, but her bachelor's they had her. So my sister looked around at school. She was going to go to Georgetown, UK, and she finally decided on Transylvania University. And she is now about to graduate in May to complete her six-year bachelor in psychology. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, Luke, that's great. You know, your sister is going to major in psychology. She's going to be successful. Transylvania, that's a great school. She didn't work hard. She didn't have very much scholarship money, you guys. Transy is a pretty expensive institution. It's a private school. So, here my sister is, has her own life, her own apartment, her own job. She's about to have her own bachelor's. But when it comes to the financial aspect of it, my parents took out far too many loans than they should have. Paid far too much money out of pocket than they should have. The loans in my sister's name doesn't even come close to be equivalent to the debt that my parents took on to give my sister that opportunity. And that's nothing that we worry about. We are secure. Do not, don't think that that's the point of this. The point of this is my parents were willing to sacrifice that security, willing to sacrifice that economic status to give that to her. And so what does that leave in the path for me? Because, I'm at that point in my life. I'm a senior. I'm about to choose an institute for my secondary education. And I just can't help but think to myself, I don't want to do to mom and dad what Sissy did. I don't want them to go further in the hole. I'm going to work hard so that way they don't have to work even harder than they did putting her through the first time. I'm not going to put them through round 2. This is on me. If I want to go to college, it's on me. What I do when I get that diploma from Western Hills High School is on me. And I know they're going to help me, and I know they're going to be supportive because they're the best parents I could ask for. But that doesn't mean I can be the best, that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be the best son that they can ask for. So why else would I work hard? Why else would hard work be valuable to me? It's because I want to be a famous musician. But why? I stated in the opening of my speech, the music man, Luke Sosby. Nobody calls me that. However, it's pretty commonly known that my identity has been fabricated to musicality, to this craft that I have. No, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the lifestyle, the libido, the fame. It's not important. What's important to me about being a famous musician is I want, one day, many years from now, a little boy or a little girl who might be growing up rough, might be growing up well off, just dealing with something, family issues, it doesn't matter. I want that little boy or little girl to be, yay high. Their entire perspective on the world, they're looking up on everything. That's amazing about children, literally and figuratively, looking up on everything. I want them to hear that song on the radio. I want them to hear my craft, hear what I've put that hard work into, hear that passion. And I want them to say to their mom or dad, or say to themselves, or say to someone that they want to be Luke Sosebee. Because he puts so much positivity into the world. He is so open-minded. He's so charismatic. He's so confident that that's just who I want to be. That's what I want to do with my life. And if I can do that for just one little boy or little girl, then that will give my life fulfillment. Because where I am in my life now is who I need to be so I can be that person later. I have those role models now. They're usually found in the form of teachers. Melissa Rash, the gifted and talented teacher at the middle school. Stephanie Wallace, the band director here at Western Hills High School. And especially recently, the Western Hills English department teachers, Eric Shields, Kaylee Chester, and Ryan Hale. Because I just say to myself so often, if there are people that good in this world right now, today, then I can be that person down the line and just offer myself up to that lineage, that tradition of just being a good person. Because stagnancy is the key to self-defeat. That's a little cliche, but it's true. If who you are right now is all you ever want to be, if you are fulfilled right now, you are complete, I will support that. It's fine. But I will encourage that you question yourself. Are you working hard enough? Are you really who you want to be for the rest of your life? And if not, what are you doing?